So last time we talked, I felt very similar to how I feel now because the Raptors got blown out in game one, and then
Yeah.
they won two straight, and I felt really good. I thought we were definitely going to take game three, and it happened again. Uh, what are your thoughts as a Raptors fan?
So now we're down 3-2 in the series, and I really can't see a game seven even happening. To be honest, like I just think this team is it's so inconsistent. We just don't have a star to like give the ball to and be like, hey, no one's hitting shots right now, so can you go like shoot the next 10 shots and kind of keep us close in this game? We just don't
Mm-hmm.
have a player that's like that. They have a player that's like that.
They
We've
have two
seen
guys
Jason Tatum
that
do
are
that.
like that.
I don't think they have two guys that are like that. I think it's just Jason Tatum because
I think Kemba's been really good in the series. Really, really, really good. He's been a problem, but Tatum is
18
obviously the guy
points.
on that team.
Yeah, Tatum has been a consistent 18-point scorer this whole playoff run. Like he's just someone that consistently get you points, and I think that's what's, in my opinion, honestly, he's becoming the second or third best player in the East with the way he's playing.
I agree.
Like
I
he's
agree.
just so consistently good. And then in the fourth quarter, someone steps up. It's either Kemba Walker, a
Mm-hmm.
Jaylen Brown, a Marcus Smart. It's just that guy. There's always that guy that can weather
Yeah.
the storm, weather the runs of the Raptors, keep the
Yeah.
game close. And then when they're all playing good, it's just a blow up.
See, I agree. I think they've had a good offensive series, but I don't think that's the reason this is a looking like a pretty convincing series win for the Celtics. It's all about the offensive end for the Raptors. The Raptors have done a pretty decent job. Tatum's had his games, Kemba's had his games, Jaylen Brown's had his games, but for the most part, the defense has been putting them in a position to win games, and it's all about offense for me. And how do we not start with Pascal Siakam? I think the the reason I had the Raptors in this series is because I thought, okay, we have a nice size advantage, right? We got Siakam as a mismatch against any defender on that team. You can go back to old podcasts and dig that up. I said that a bunch of times. I was like, Ibaka and Gasol are bigger than any five man that they have, and our guards play big. OG's pretty big too. We're just gonna outsize them, and that has just not been the case at all because Siakam cannot score in the paint. Um,
Yeah.
and neither can anybody else.
Yeah, the best player might on the Raptors might be Serge Ibaka on the offensive end,
He
just because
literally
of his
is.
energy. Because you just see him moving a lot more and driving a lot more. Marcus Gasol is honestly regressed so much
So much.
since like
That's
1
one of
year
the
ago.
biggest things too.
Like I honestly think like I don't know if it's like an injury. I don't know if it's like him just being satisfied with one championship. Maybe the hunger not being there as to
Mm-hmm.
win your first championship, or maybe the belief's not there because Kawhi Leonard's not there and you're not playing as hard. But I don't know what's happening with Marcus Gasol because he literally looks like a completely different player. And to be fair to him, last year we ran up against centers in Vucevic,
Yeah.
Embiid,
Yeah.
and Giannis. And this year, we're really not going up against centers. And we even had DeMarcus Cousins in the finals too. So kind of last year's playoff run was built for Marcus Gasol
Mm-hmm.
versus this year's playoff
Yeah.
run is
That's
kind of
very
built
fair.
against Marcus Gasol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has not hit. He hasn't hit a 3-pointer all series. He hasn't hit one
Mm-hmm.
all season against the Celtics.
Yeah.
So
It's not
he's
very good.
a zero. He's a negative on offense. Siakam has been a negative on offense and a huge negative on defense. I think. Um, the two Kyle Lowry has been having a ridiculous series. OG has been having a
Yeah.
really good
Kyle
series.
Lowry's amazing.
Serge Ibaka is having a good series, but he's injured. It's questionable whether or not he's going to play tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And Fred VanVleet has not had a good series though. He had a good game 3 or game 4, but other than that, nothing really.
Yeah. Fred VanVleet, in my opinion, has just been asked to do too much in the bubble. Because if you
Yeah.
look at him pre-bubble, always have to be the third scoring Raptor. As long as he was facilitating, either Powell would step up, or Ibaka would
Mm-hmm.
step up. Now he kind of has to be the second scoring Raptor because Siakam sucks. And he also has to be the second playmaker. And he also has to guard the best defender.
Yeah.
Like, we're asking too much of him, and it's clearly not. he clearly can't do it. Like
Yeah.
this was
I
his max contract series, in my opinion, because if he was able to do all those things, be the second best scorer, be the second best playmaker, and be the best defender, I honestly think he would be deserving of a max contract.
yeah, yeah.
But he couldn't do it, and his contract's probably going to be 20 million from some team, probably the Pistons,
Which is still fair, I think,
and
because
yeah, which is still fair. But it's just sad to see because he had potential. Like this was his series, he had the most to gain from it and most to lose from it, and he just couldn't live up to the pressure.
yeah. And yeah, the the main thing is it's sort of similar to the Sixers series from last year where he just
Mm-hmm.
really, really struggled with all the length that they could throw at him. He has not been able to get anything done in the paint, but neither has anyone else on the team other than like Lowry and Ibaka
Yeah,
and OG. And I think you really see that in the free throw difference between both teams. The Celtics are getting a ridiculously higher number of free throws than the Raptors are. And that's what can make or break playoff games. And the Raptors, while they've been taking a lot of threes and the percentages look really bad, those have not been high quality threes, a lot of them, because they're not able to
yeah,
consistently penetrate the paint, especially Siakam, affect the defense and create open shots. And that's their bread and butter in offense, and that's just not been happening.
yeah. What we also have to mention is Kemba Walker's defense. I thought he
It's
was a
actually been low
huge,
key pretty good.
yeah, I thought he was a huge defensive liability. I thought honestly he was a Steph Curry-esque defender, where Kyle Lowry
Mm-hmm.
and Fred VanVleet were going to kind of lock him up and they're going to go off on him
Yeah.
defensively. But he is trying his heart out. He is a really good defender. And obviously, with the help of Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and
Yeah.
Tice, he's been able to hold his own and he's been able to stay in front of these guys and, contest the shots. And obviously, Kyle Lowry has made some difficult shots on him, and so has Van Vliet. But he he's kind of a key player. He's played much better defense than he usually does,
Mm-hmm.
and that's led to these blowouts. Because when you see Kemba playing better defense, that's when these blowouts occur.
Yeah. And his passing too. I uh criticized him earlier when we did our list, our top 10 point guards, calling him just a one-dimensional offensive player, just a scorer, not a playmaker.
Mm-hmm.
But actually been a pretty decent playmaker in this series, and we saw that with that pass to Tice with 0.5 seconds left. It ended up not mattering because they lost on that ridiculous shot by OG. But man, the passing has really been really impressive, I think, to me.
Yeah, and referring back to that list, we have to mention how poorly I rated Kyle Lowry.
Kyle Lowry.
Uh, he's definitely a top 10 point guard
Oh
because
yeah.
he is. Because I used to say he just defers.
Mm-hmm.
No one on the Raptors are hearing anything, and he's able to keep them in games
Oh yeah.
for the most part. He's by far the best player on the Raptors team, in my
By
opinion.
far, by far, it's not
And
close.
it's just scary to think of because the Raptors, he's 34, 35.
34.
Yeah, he's not going to be this good next year. And the year after that, he's not going to be close to as
Yeah,
good.
especially because of all they're playing a game every 2 days. He's playing 45 minutes a game,
Yeah,
and it's a
this
short
it's going to be,
turnaround to next season. And
yeah.
it's yeah,
So this is going to be this Raptors team is going to be, I know a lot of people expected them to miss the playoffs this year, which is ridiculous. We had them
no,
both in our
yeah,
top five at least.
mm-hmm.
So like next year's Raptors, it's going to be very interesting because this team is getting a lot older. They have potential to lose Van Vliet. It's going to be scary.
Yeah. I'm pretty scared, and I don't honestly have no explanation why Siakam's looked so bad. I'm just hoping
Mm-hmm.
that next season he looks like his old self.
Yeah,
I was hoping he would increase that 23 points to 26 points next year and be even better. I'm just hoping he doesn't
yeah,
drop below 17 next season.
yeah. I just hope he averages 20 points again. Like I
Yeah,
just hope
like
that he could get that mark again.
I think the way having the momentum in the series and giving it up like that in such a being down by 32 points at one point, I I think they're gonna fight. I don't think they're gonna get blown out in Game 6, but
Yeah,
I just don't see it.
yeah.
Anyway,
And
yeah.
I just
So
want to touch on like, yeah, but I just don't think they have that player that could coast them in a series
no,
closing
no.
game. Yeah,
I thought Pascal was gonna step up Game 5. Didn't happen, and
mm-hmm.
I've given up on him for this series. just completely given up.
Yeah, for this year, I think he just needs to take a
Yeah,
break,
yeah.
kind of.